After my last video series about Theocratic War Strategy, Tim Kilgore suggested that I show some video evidence of this. I'm not going to re-explain what Theocratic War Strategy is or how it works. You're going to have to watch part 1 and at least half of part 2. The first clip that I'm going to show was actually taken in court. I have a link in the description if you want to see the whole thing where the man says that he's been an overseer for 25 years and he's been an elder since I think it was 1971. So the man knows what he's talking about. If you watch the whole video, you'll hear him lie many times. What I want to show you goes along with the idea that Theocratic War Strategy is used to protect secret knowledge from outsiders and from those who are not entitled to know about it. And you'll see him following the standard steps of Theocratic War Strategy.
Is there a custody packet? Are you familiar with that?
Custody packet?
Yes, sir.
I've never heard of a custody
Never heard of
packet.
Does the headquarters or the congregation, if they have local autonomy, do they ever sit down and consult with children or parents if there's a custody dispute going on?
Let me make sure I understand that. Does the local congregation sit down and discuss a strategy or a package or something?
Now this was the first step of Theocratic War Strategy, which is simple denial. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do such a poor job of playing stupid. I don't understand. The local congregation gets together to discuss a package or something? It's really quite pathetic.
Let's say one of the elders, there's members of the congregation, they're going through a custody battle, and they have some questions religiously, and they go to their elder, or maybe come to you as an overseer. Do you have some direction from headquarters as to how to deal with them, how to answer them? Is there a custody packet published by headquarters to assist you with that?
In my 25 years of doing this, I have never seen a custody packet, never heard the term used until just now. As far as will the elders sit down, we'll sit down with any one of the members that's having whatever the problem is, and we'll help them, we'll discuss with them, we'll look at ways that if they have questions, we'll deal with it. If it has a legal implication, we have access to attorneys in Brooklyn that we can talk to.
So if one of your elders, at least as much as 6 months ago, were to have testified that he had a custody packet and used it, you're not familiar with that, never heard of it?
I have never heard of a custody packet.
Have no idea what he's talking about.
I've been doing this a long time.
Custody book, does that make any difference?
Custody book, I've never heard of a custody book.
Now what he did here was, I think he was trying to deny the existence of this book on the basis that they were referring to it as a packet and not a book. The lawyer or whoever realized his mistake at the end and said book, so then simple denial wasn't going to work, so he had to actually use misleading information and just lie, no such book exists. He says there is no book and there are no guidelines for discussing strategies in child custody cases. You can see the book here, you can see the table of contents. It's a bunch of chapters on all the different people that'll take part in the trial and what they might be asked and what their responses should be. Here's a sample page for the kid, what the kid can say, and you have to laugh at what it says. First for the question, aren't the meetings boring? It's like, no, meetings are interesting. And then at the bottom, where the kid is supposed to say that, going to these meetings has taught him the value of an education. Here's a letter that was sent out to someone that I guess had requested information. They're going through a child custody battle or something. And you can see the letter even says they suggest this book to them, so this elder was clearly lying. I hope Propagandatechniques will forgive me for using his video, but here is another instance of an elder that he's speaking to. It's actually two elders lying and saying a book doesn't exist that does.
Do you know if there's any, I know like some religions use secret publications and have secret meetings within the religions. Does your religion have any secret meetings that you know of?
Not that I know of. There's meetings that I'm not privy to attend because I'm not privileged to attend them, but they're not secret.
Like what?
Well, the elders have meetings if they have to decide on something that doesn't include everybody.
Do they have publications that they use that you aren't privy to?
Not that I know of.
So this elder says that he doesn't know of any of this kind of stuff, and another elder that's with him comes over, and Propagandatechniques asks him.
Well, you're an elder. Here's a good question. You're an elder. Do you, as an elder in your religion, have any secret publications that the other members don't have? Any special handbook that only the elders have that the other elders don't know about? You're sure about that? How long have you been an elder?
I've been an elder for about 20 years.
Really? You don't have a book called Pay Attention to Yourselves and to All the Flock?
Are you a former elder?
No, I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm conducting an interview with you, and I just got you saying you don't have secret publications.
Don't have a secret publication?
You don't have a book, Pay Attention to Yourselves?
Every book I have right now.
You don't have a book. You don't have a book, Pay Attention to Yourselves and to All the Flock.
How do you know about that publication?
No.
I'm going to stop it here real quick to point out, notice the shock that elder had. He didn't even answer the question. He just, are you an elder? Were you an elder? How do you know this kind of thing? He was very surprised.
Wait a minute, you just said you don't have a secret book.
If you said it's a secret publication.
Did you know about this book?
I know the elders have books that help them.
But that's what I asked you before. I asked you before if there's publications you don't have access to, and you said no. You said there are meetings you don't have access to that you're not privy to. But I asked you if there are special publications you don't have access to.
When you first called us over to your vehicle,
yes,
it sounded like you're interested in finding out more about the witnesses.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is just come to a meeting.
And you see here, he doesn't even address the fact that he lied. He just says, well, I came over here thinking you wanted more information, and if you want more information, then you should just start going to meetings. But he goes on to basically claim persecution, which is another tactic. He says, oh, it sounds like you're just having a witch hunt. No, I'm not going to address the fact that I lied to you, that I denied something that I knew about and claimed that I didn't. You should come to a meeting if you want to know stuff and you're having a witch hunt. Now, Propagandatechniques isn't going to let the matter rest, so he pursues it, and you can see that here.
That's interesting because you did say that there was no secret publications. You said there's no secret publications.
Your word secret,
but when I did mention that publication, you seemed shocked. Were you told not to let others know?
I was told not.
Were you told
not?
I
have a publication that I referred to that I don't let everybody see, but it's not secret.
So we have publications that nobody is allowed to see or look at, but it's not a secret. Well, if it's not secret and people know it exists and all of this, then why was he so shocked that Propagandatechniques had heard of it?
But were you told not to let others see that publication, not to let other members know about that publication?
No, I wasn't told. I was told not to be having that publication on. It's just like
what's your name?
Your checkbook. I'm not going to give my name. It's just like another.
Well, we already know you're from Ohio.
Yeah.
And you're in a congregation in Ohio, right?
Yeah. Your checkbook. That's your checkbook, and you use that checkbook to benefit yourself. Well, this is what I use to help with the congregation.
It's like a checkbook. You can't let people see it. Is anyone else just scratching their head at the complete lack of sense that makes on any level? It's not a secret book, but nobody's allowed to look at it, and it's not supposed to be kept a secret that it exists, but it shocks the hell out of me that you've ever heard of it, because it's not a secret, but I can't let you look in it because it's like a checkbook. I mean, I just have to stare at this person. I'm nearly speechless. It's like a checkbook. What can you even say? You've now learned why when a Jehovah's Witness comes onto one of my videos and claims that they don't do this or don't do that or do this or do that or have this or don't have that, I automatically assume that they're lying. You've learned what Theocratic War Strategy is and how it works, and you've seen it in action several times. You see how it usually centers on the use of evasion, but they will utilize outright misleading information if necessary. You saw the overseer in court deny that a child custody book existed. He first attempted to be evasive by pretending he didn't know what was being spoken of, and then when it was clarified that it was a book and not a packet or package, then he just outright lied and said that no such thing existed. Then you saw on film two elders also being evasive, saying that they didn't know of any secret books or anything of that nature. Then when they were called on it, they turned around and lied and tried to make ridiculous comparisons to checkbooks and saying that they weren't lying because the book wasn't really secret, but it was. So you've seen here the methods that Jehovah's Witnesses use. So the next time the Jehovah's Witnesses come to your door wanting to preach the good news to you, ask yourself an important question. Am I entitled to know the truth?